There's been a massive job loss in our borough, around the country as well, but even more so here in the Bronx. In May, the unemployment hit over 20%. And I had thought at that time that that was the highest it was going to go, but in June, the number went up to 25% of the borough was unemployed. That's an incredible number. There are 1.4 million residents in the borough, and each of those residents depend on somebody in their family or in their household who has a job. Um, we're one of the most low income boroughs to start with, so any lost employment is an incredibly discouraging position for a household. At the same time, because of the impact that COVID has had on our community, especially among people of color in the Bronx community, we have the third highest death rate from COVID in the nation by county. And so the impact of the disease has also been powerful on our community. It has impacted the way people have made choices about, being able to access employment. It's impacted their lives through illness or through deaths in their families. And it's impacted their ability to get services by keeping them in their homes. Additionally, we have a very high immigrant population here in our neighborhood. About 70% of our local community is an immigrant, and many of those folks were not eligible for the different types of government stimulus that were available to other populations in the country. So for example, the stimulus checks and the certain of the unemployment was not available to some of those immigrant populations. And that put an additional strain on the many immigrants who work in our city and make it the vibrant place that we call home. We've been hearing from a lot of clients about unpaid rent, ability to not pay rent, utilities, the need for food, and our food service has really expanded in the last 6 months thanks to the food programs. They'll talk a little bit about that. We've served over 1 million meals just in the first 6 months of 2019. For context, last year we served 1.1 million meals the entire year, and the year before we served, that was the highest we'd ever served before in our history. So this is a really huge increase for us. We've also tried to expand our assistance in other ways. We've been providing masks and bottles of sanitizer and other cleaning supplies to the community to help make sure that they can be safe and healthy from COVID, given the cost and inaccessibility of these items for a long time here in New York. And we've reached out, our case management team has reached out to 8,000 people over the last few months to screen them, to help them understand what benefits and other services they're eligible for. We've also, for the first time, had quite a substantial amount of direct cash assistance that we've been able to provide to our community members, especially those who were not eligible for whatever reason for the different types of cash assistance available through the federal government. And finally, in the middle of all of this, the US Census has been ongoing. So far, we've helped 308 people complete the census, and we've informed hundreds more about its importance and how to complete the census. So making sure that our community is connected and engaged with the resources it's going to need over the next 10 years has been an important goal of our team.